Hello. In this session, I'm going to show you how to create a stunning winter vase for your home. This will be the first of many vase designs that I will show you. There's two different types of techniques that I like to use when I'm working with a vase. One is a hand-tied design where you create the design in your hand and you pop that straight into your vase. But today I'm going to show you how to create within the vase, and that's with using some beautiful branches and some woody stems to create a structure that will support some of the softer stems that we're going to use today. So let me introduce you to the flowers. We have, well, let's start first with my citrus out of the garden. So at the moment all the citrus is fruiting and stunning and really ties in with this citrus flavour in colour palette that we're using today. I'm also going to use the absolutely beautiful Japonica. This is a type of blossom. It's actually a flowering quince, but we call it Japonica, full of thorns, absolute nightmare to pick, but stunning in colour. Love this salmon coral pink. I'll also be using some tulips, just iconic for winter flowers, tulips. These ones are quite, well, very fresh. You can hear how crispy and squeaky they are. And they're really tight bud. So although they won't be very dynamic in the arrangement today, they will, expand and grow over time and look stunning in the design, a week or so later. I've got some really beautiful buddleia, a little bit smaller than the usual buddleia you may be familiar with, but I just wanted to bring that lovely soft grey mauvey tones. Iconic Australian acacia, the Wattle, absolutely prolific at the moment. So, August being the month for Wattle, it's almost August now, obviously, and they're just stunning at the moment. Can't go past these little guys. Absolutely adore poppies, and so do all these bees that have made their way into the studio and are feasting on lunch. These have been absolutely divine this year. I'm not sure why. I've told my grower at Geneva Flower Farm how stunning his poppies are this year, but they are huge and amazing. And the other little flower we're going to use today are the scabiosa. Horrible name, beautiful flower. Love this movement. Love these little buds as well. So these will be really nice and light within the design. Okay, let's get making. First of all, I just wanted to share with you a little bit about the vase. For this design, I've used a fluted vase. This particular shape is really good when you're first learning to design. It's quite forgiving and it allows your flowers to escape out from the arrangement. Cylinder vases, although fine for a vertical arrangement, are quite restricting. So, and the same with a sort of a fishbowl vase can be a little bit tricky to work with too. So today, fluted vase. Okay, we're going to put our branches in first. Again, these are going to create the mechanics and the support for all of the other flowers. Just having a look at the way the branches are shaped and which way they'd like to go. I tend to always let my flowers tell me where they'd like to sit within the design. They're the boss after all. And I might just make that there. It's sitting there like that. Just take this other little piece, the front. Okay, so they're creating a really lovely network within the arrangement. Now this is going to be an all-round vase, which means that you'd be able to place it in the middle of your dining table or a coffee table entry, something like that. So adding the lemons, I'll spin that around and just show you. I'm just adding the lemons into one particular area. So with this design being an all-round, I'm going to create a series of little stories or a series of little groupings so that there's more dynamic placements, I guess. It's a good way to describe it. and seems to be able to showcase all of your flowers really well. So little grouping of lemons there, and to offset that strong block of yellow, I'm going to put the wattle over on this side of the arrangement. So stripping the stems, making sure I've prepped them already, making sure there's no foliage on the ends of the stems. You don't want any foliage beyond the water level. Keeps your water really clean when they're just clean stems. And I'll put just one more piece in, quite low in the arrangement, because I want this wattle to create a lovely sort of dense background and dense base for the other flowers to escape out of. Okay, so now we'll go over to this little section, and just like I've used the wattle, we'll place the buddleia. Oh, it's got the sweetest fragrance, so beautiful this time of year. If anyone tells you there's no flowers out in winter, they don't know they're flowers. I love winter flowers. Colour, all of your fragrant flowers are out in winter. The flower and the colour deepens because of the cold, and they're just so seasonal. They have just so many beautiful varieties that are only out just for, 6 weeks, 4 weeks. Okay, so placing that buddleia again in its little family, in a little group, making sure that I recut the stems so that they can have the best water intake possible. And I like how the buddleia cascades over the base of the rim of the vase. Just taking the foliage off there, making sure that those stems are lovely and clean, and it really showcases all of the flower. Okay, so just extending that out a little bit. I love that fall that creates. Okay, gorgeous. So as we add the tulips, let me just share with you a little fun fact about tulips. They actually grow in length once they're cut, which actually blows my mind, because there's no roots, there's no bulb, no soil, and I just love that they do that. They're also elliptic, which means they grow to the light. So they will twist and turn and snake their way towards your window. So it's a good idea to turn your vase around on the table so that they will move to the light and stay closer to the place where you actually design them in the first place. But I kind of like how they do their own thing. Okay, so just a little family of tulips there. We might add a few more as we get going, but although they don't look too much of a statement right now, they will swell over the next couple of week or so and grow and really become more of a statement in the vase. And in 14 days, they'll be lasting that long, and probably in 7 days looking absolutely amazing. Okay, time to add these little beautiful poppy babies. If I can steal a few off the bees. I don't know if you can hear them, but they are having a feast. So we're going to add our poppies into this gorgeous bed of wattle. And again, just threading them through, and you can see that as soon as I add the stem, they're staying really firm exactly where I place them. And that's what we want when we're creating with such fine stems. Absolutely love the pink of that poppy with that little piece of salmon pink Japonica down there. I'm going to add a mixture of open flowers and buds. Obviously we want the buds to pop open, and I just adore that they are a surprise of what colour that you'll be getting. Definitely using these beautiful pink ones. I just love that against that mauve of the buddleia. But also what's really stunning is the same tone of that poppy to the tone of the Japonica. This colour is quite tricky to work with in floristry. Salmon pink, can be a real challenge because it doesn't really work with pinks, it doesn't work with orange, and it's hard to marry it up with another salmon. But here we find it's got a friend. So I was so happy to see those pink ones starting to open. So I'm creating a little family of poppies over here. We're going to add some of this stunning orange. And when you're adding a new colour in and something that is striking like orange, it's always good practice to give it a friend. Make sure that you've got another orange flower or another variety of flower in the same tone, just so that it's not, in there on its own. Colour is really important when you're designing. So I'm changing the heights a little bit, drawing your eye into the design a little bit more, and then also making sure that we're, escaping out of that beautiful, I just want one lovely one out of here. Maybe that beautiful, lovely long, again, nice sharp cut. And I just want to escape this one out of the side. Just pop that through. Okay, let's bring in our Scabiosa. So the Scabiosa, being white, can be quite contrasting in a design, but in this case I think it will work really well. It'll lighten up the arrangement. And I love the movement and the extension of these. So bringing the Scabiosa over to this side of the design, it will join in with the poppies a little bit. You want that integration. You don't necessarily want it to be too blocky where there's one flower on one side and one on the other, but predominantly we'll bring the white over with this beautiful buddleia. Again, just taking some of the shorter flowers in a little deeper, and then making sure that anything like this little guy here with that beautiful movement and extension, those gorgeous little buds, gorgeous. I use that word a lot. I need to find a new word. But they are, look at them. So extending him out there, her. She looks like she's a her. Okay, one more Scabiosa in here. Okay, now two very precious babies that I didn't introduce you to earlier are the two daffodils out of my garden. Just started flowering, breaking through from the soil, and although we've still got a month of winter to go, I always feel like the daffodils are the little early indication of spring is on the way. And I'll just pop those in with the lemons just because they're so short and I really don't want them to get hidden in the design. So giving them a little pride of place over there with the lemons. Okay, so to finish off the design, I always like to have a look now and see where I can create a bit of a hey you moment, I call it, and that is adding flowers that are creating a statement. They can be the same variety. Sometimes there might be a different flower, but a flower that escapes out of the arrangement and really grabs your attention, and that's hence the hey you. I think they're going, hello, come on in, have a little look around. So just finding those moments that I can extend out of the design. I think there's another one in here, and that's going to have to be a stunning poppy. Oh yes, that one. Look at the size of that. It's just beautiful. Oh. Okay, just nestle that in. It's getting quite full. So few little tips on your care of this design for your home. There's a lot of flowers in this vase, so you'll need to top the water up or change the water every 2 days. That really seriously is the best way to make sure that your flowers have the longest vase life possible. Simply pick the arrangement up, tip out the water, fill it up, pop them straight back in. And also if you can recut the stems, that's another way to encourage that water intake, which will help them last a lot longer. So I hope you've enjoyed this beautiful winter vase full of colourful cheer. I love all these citrus tones. And if you've got any questions at all, please pop them in the comments about the techniques or the flower varieties. I'll be sure to get back to you. And don't forget to download the comprehensive design notes that will be attached to this one as well, with all the information you need to create your own gorgeous winter vase at home. Okay, see you.